Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars, and welcome to another of my misunderstood movie reviews. And for those of you who don't know, my misunderstood movie reviews are reviews on movies that essentially have gone under the radar, been underappreciated or potentially seen as a failure either at the box office or by audience members. And they are generally films that I enjoy personally, and I want to hopefully give them a second chance. Hopefully you give them a second chance. Maybe you didn't watch them because of the reviews when they came out, or the fact that they didn't do particularly well. And the movie I've chosen this time is the 2013 comedy sports film Grudge Match, a film that is directed by Peter Siegel, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as Henry Razor Sharp, Robert De Niro as Billy the Kid McDonough, we have Kim Basinger, we have Alan Arkin, we have Kevin Hart and Jon Bernthal. A very, very impressive cast list here. And what this film focuses on is two aging boxers, naturally, who had a grudge years ago in the boxing biz. They had two fights, both of them won one of them, and the third fight could never take place, the grudge match, because Sylvester Stallone's character Henry Razor Sharp retired from the sport of boxing early to get back at Robert De Niro's character, who had stolen his girlfriend from him. So we pick up this story years later, and Kevin Hart plays the son of a boxing promoter who was the promoter for these fights in the past. And he approaches Sylvester Stallone's character and invites him to take part in a new video game for Xbox or whatever it is, a boxing game, and he's going to get $15,000. Same for Robert De Niro. And all they have to do is turn up to this gaming studio, put on the motion capture suit, throw a few punches, and they make some quick money. However, what happens is they both meet at the same time at the studio. The sparks fly, they get into a fight, and it gets filmed, and then it goes viral all across the world. And then Kevin Hart sees money in this, and he manages to get a fight booked for the pair of them to finally have this grudge match. Sylvester Stallone isn't keen initially, but he sees that he's really no money, and this is a good way for him to get back on his feet. And Robert De Niro has been praying for this fight for decades, so he's really up for this. So that's the comedy really. You've got these two aging fighters getting in the ring together, can't stand each other, and it focuses on Sylvester Stallone working with his trainer Alan Arkin and Robert De Niro trying to get in shape, and ends up being trained by his son, played by Jon Bernthal, who he is never spending time with growing up, so he's building that relationship there. So you've got this comedy that's going on throughout it, but there's also some nice drama in there too, some decent performances, and this film is a lot of fun to watch. I watched it recently once again after picking it up, and I've got to say I really enjoyed this film. I couldn't understand why it didn't find an audience. I mean, the big hook of this film and the way it was kind of promoted, you've got Rocky against Raging Bull, two of the most iconic boxing films of all time, Raging Bull and Rocky, Stallone and De Niro in the ring together. I mean, that in itself is intriguing and a hook to a film, but unfortunately it didn't spark the imagination of audience members, and that's the reason why really this didn't really catch on. There's some brilliant comedic performances. Kevin Hart, I believe this was the first film that I saw where I had seen films before, because I've looked at his filmography, obviously with him in it, but this is the first film I remember watching with Kevin Hart in it, standing up and thinking, oh, this guy's got some real talent in front of the camera. He was really funny in this film, as was Alan Arkin, who I don't think I have ever seen a poor performance by this actor ever. He is brilliant in everything he does, and in the last 20 years he does these small comedic performances. He just brights up any film that he's in. He's absolutely brilliant in this film. He's really good, and he's got a great chemistry with Stallone. Kim Basinger's in the film. She plays the ex of Stallone, the one who cheated on him with De Niro in the past, and she tries to reignite her relationship with Stallone throughout this film. She's okay, but I didn't buy the chemistry between her and Stallone. It was okay, and they managed to pull it off, but I don't know, maybe it's because she's had so much surgery over the years. Her face barely moves these days, so she couldn't really emote particularly well. The best relationship in this film was between De Niro and John Bernthal, father and son, and them trying to reconnect as the film goes on. That was really, really good. The training scenes were fun. The things they have to do to promote the fight, because initially no one's interested in this fight, no one wants to watch it, so they're told by Kevin Hart, the promoter, they're going to have to do some promotional things together to get some interest in this fight. And some of the stuff they do is just hilarious, from like parachute jumps to like promoting Vegas casinos, the buffets and things like that. It's a lot of fun, and the chemistry between Stallone and De Niro is really, really good as well. You can see they're having a pretty good time with this film, so therefore we as audience members have a good time watching it. The real problem with this film, and it's a bit of a stupid thing to say because it's a boxing film ultimately, is actually the boxing match itself. Not that it's poorly choreographed or that it's not exciting, because it actually is, but it's been quite light-hearted and fun leading up to the boxing match. It's been heavy on the comedy with a little bit of drama thrown in here and there, but mostly fun and comedy. And then you get this boxing match, and all of a sudden the comedy's gone. You've got this boxing match, and even though you're invested in both characters and you want to know who's going to win this fight, the comedy stops at that point and it turns into a boxing drama, and it's almost like night and day. Comedy and then boom, sport drama from this point on. And it's a little bit stark, and it does stand out an awful lot when you watch this film. But that's not to say, like I say, that the boxing isn't fun and exciting to watch, because it certainly was. So I do think this is worthy of another check out by you guys. If you never watched it when it came out, if you stayed away from it because you thought it was a stinker, well, it really isn't. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it is worthy of you guys checking out. It's a lot of fun. But the contrast between comedy and then boom, sports drama when it gets to the boxing at the end is a little bit stark. It stands out a little bit, but it's still a really, really fun and entertaining film, and one that I think you should definitely check out if you get the chance. So thank you very much for watching once again, guys, and of course I will see you next time on Screen Stars.